in these smaller markets and activating with people who it wasn't even about the election or politics. It was about someone who had never been. There had never been
a part of this whole.
No. He was going to cities where there had never been anyone as famous as him to come in that town.
Don't tell me the reason why.
No, that's exactly the. I'm dead serious.
So nobody other ones never came to where they were.
Right, and acknowledged him.
So they felt acknowledged for the first time.
Absolutely, in life.
Don't tell me Hillary Clinton lost because her misacknowledgement of some people.
Then you hear them talk about how she didn't even go to Wisconsin. Because they assumed they had Wisconsin locked up. They made a lot of assumptions. Bruh, they had fireworks ordered, bruh. They made a lot of assumptions about a lot of people because of how things had always been. They had always been used to going up against people. They had never had to go up against a brand. And that's what happened. America did elected a man for president. They elected a brand. And it's a lot easier for people to get behind a brand than a person.
So the Make America Great Again brand.
No, the Trump brand. The 5 big bold letters in gold. Yeah.
So you felt like Hillary Clinton, a person, was in battle with a brand?
Absolutely.
And the brand was much stronger. No matter what this brand did, it was able to whitewash or whatever you want to call it and come out on top.
This brand sold meat, wine, education, and hotels and television shows, which have nothing to do with nothing with each other. There's no corporate synergy in that other than believing in the person and the brand. And people believed in it. Trump is a brand that everybody believed in at one point. That's why people are so mad. Everybody at one point or another bought into the Trump mythology.
Is that true, J Mac?
I mean, I did, especially when I was.
Maybe not right now, but at some point. At some point.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
What about you? Did you?
Yeah, I got 2 books too. We all did. Bun didn't even lie. I wish I could say, Bun, you're wrong.
I want to
say he wrong.
There is a quote from one of my rhymes. I can't remember. It's F Black somebody call me Black Trump. Like as acknowledging the name Trump as being associated with money and wealth and status and all of that. Trump. So everybody's associated themselves, mostly, I don't want to speak for everybody, but most people bought into the brand of Trump in one way or another at one point.
Now they say that most who really backed him was white, male, uneducated America.
Absolutely. The one group of Americans that has no special interest group. Nobody cares about the poor white man in America. And let me explain that. Let me explain that. When a black man dies in America, people of every color stand up. When a Latino man, people of every color stand up. Everybody stands up. When a Muslim American, everybody. Nobody stands up when the poor white man dies.
Well, they figured that the white man, he got an edge because he's a white man.
That's the assumption. And now we see that there's more poor white people than well-off and rich white people.
Or could it be the fact that minorities didn't go out and vote?
Well, I mean, what do you mean when you say minorities? Because who's the minority and who's the biggest
Blacks.
minority? No,
Blacks,
the poor white
Hispanics.
man is the biggest minority in America. Wake up, y'all. Look at your president. Who elected him?
So when you went out reporting and saw these places for Vice, you saw the polls on Fox and CNN. You said these polls are not reflecting.
I'm not looking at the polls. I'm reading the room, and that's what Trump has been trying to tell everybody this entire time. Don't pay attention to the polls. We're in the room. I told my wife Sunday night when that man stood up and said, "Look at all of us in here. We don't need Jay-Z. We don't need Beyonce. We don't need that." It was real. He didn't. He never did. Why? Because he's the biggest celebrity to these people. There's no one Donald Trump can put in front of the people that he corralled to win this election that are more important and more famous to them than him. That was the whole point.
I mean, I can't lie. I saw Bun earlier before I even made my dumb ass. Earlier, and this was months ago, and I'm like, Bun, I know you're out there on the road. Who is going to win? This is like months, 3 or 4 months ago. He was like, you might want to bet on Trump. I was like, Trump. I'm like, this dude don't know what he's talking about.
You know,
because I'm looking at the polls. I'm looking at everything.
I'm in the rooms, right? I'm in the rallies, right? So you go to a Bernie Trump rally. It's basically whatever you're gonna play in the next hour, that the music wise,
right.
That's what's playing at the Bernie rally. It's a cool hip place to be. It's got a hip hop soundtrack.
Talking about Sanders, y'all.
Yeah, it's got a hip hop soundtrack to it. You know, it's a cool place to be. So yeah, there's a bunch of young people in the room. They did it at a college. They played hip hop music and pop music at it. Of course, a bunch of kids were going to come through. You know, telling them that we're going to make college free. Of course, college kids are going to come through, right? Yeah. But are all those people in that room going to vote? We don't know. We're trying to get them to vote.
Right.
Same thing at the Hillary thing. You know what I'm saying? We want to appeal to the black people. We want to appeal to the Latino vote. We want to appeal to the LGBT community. We want to get all these people in, but a large percentage of the Latino people can't vote. You know what I'm saying? There's a contingency that can't vote. There's a contingency of black people that won't vote. So we're trying to motivate these people to vote. But with Donald Trump, everybody I saw at those rallies, I knew every single one of those people were going to vote. No ifs, ands, or buts. If they could have voted that day, they would have voted that day.
They felt the white uneducated man feels that disenfranchised with everything that's going on.
Well, yeah, like I said, there's no special interest group. There's no one that's out there fighting for the right of the poor white man in America, except like the Klan and the nationalists and the alt-right.
So when they say "Make America Great Again," when you hear this, Bun B, you think what?
Well, I mean, it depends on who you're telling it, who's saying it, and who they're telling it to. You know, a lot of what Trump would say would be very vague. You know what I'm saying? But it would be just kind of what people wanted to hear. You know, you walk in a room and there's people in there who don't have jobs and they don't have, you know, a future that they would like, and they feel concerned about their kids' future, and they're mad about their station in life, and they need to point a finger at somebody, right? That was why Jerry Springer won. It made everybody feel better about their life, because you could look at Jerry Springer and be like, well, at least my life ain't that bad.
Yeah.
Right? So they needed somebody to point the finger at, and that's what Trump did. Trump would go into these different small pockets of America and give them people to point the finger at and tell them, basically, like, whatever's wrong with your life, I'm going to make it better. Not telling you what is or how, whatever, just
I'm gonna make it better.
Whatever's wrong with your, like, literally, passionately, whatever it is that's wrong in your life, I'm going to change it and make it better. The people that are stopping you from being great, the reason why you can't get a job and the reason why your kids can't get education, I'm going to change that. I'm going to fix that. I was in those rooms when that man would say, when he first started saying, build that wall. Then I would go to rooms a month later where they would build the chant before he even got there. And what is Donald Trump going to do? 1, 2, 3. Build that wall. You in New Hampshire, bro. Your drugs come from Canada. Your drugs don't come from Mexico. Your drugs come from French Canadian street gangs in Eastern Canada. The drugs don't come from Mexico. Come on, man. Like I said, man, they were up against the brand. They had no idea what they were fighting.
All right, so we're going to get more of Bun B's thoughts after a short break because so many people feel disenfranchised at this point. What he sees the future to be. We'll talk to him about it next on The Box.